and they wanna live this life on purpose. Go find some purpose.
So, welcome to Purpose Talk episode 6. I cannot believe I'm on episode 6 already, and it's been a phenomenal time. But this one is a bit spicy, so let's get straight into it. It's going to be called Red Flags. And what are the red flags, and why do we classify them as red flags? So I have a special guest today that's going to be answering some of our questions. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Latoya. This is, accountability partner. I'm her friend. I'm her family member. So we're just in sync. And that's who I am. Hi.
Cool. So we're going to get straight into this. Like, red flags. We've been hearing about red flags everywhere. Everyone is talking about that's a red flag, this is a red flag, that's a red flag. But what is actually a red flag and why? And we are going to do our best to solve some of the mysteries behind red flags, why they're classed as red flags, and what can we do about them. We are taking it from a female stance. We are not males, so we're not saying this is the way you must think. We're saying as two individual females, this is the way we see red flags. So do not take it personal. It's only our opinion. And we are going to jump straight into it and go to our questions. So we've got 10 questions here. We're going to pick up one each, and we're both going to answer the question and give our reasons behind why we class it as a red flag or a green flag. So, sis, do you want to take the first question?
Yeah, go on then. So the first question is, no children in their 30s. Do you view that as a red flag?
Personally, I do. I feel like if I'm going to be dating anybody over 30, because I'm over 30 and I don't have any children, and I already do, I think that's a red flag, because ultimately I'm going to hinder him if I don't want to have any more children. That could cause a problem in the relationship. And I want to know, why haven't you had any children? What's happened to you? Can you have any children? So for me, red flag. What about you, sis?
Yes and no. Sometimes some people don't want children. So that may have been a decision that they've taken to not necessarily have children. It could be that, unfortunately, the previous partners have been career minded as opposed to want to settle down to have a children. That person has now reached that age within their life and they now want to have children. So it could be a red flag, it could just be a green flag, and circumstance hasn't permitted them to actually have children as yet.
Cool beans. Let's go into the next question. Okay. What is your opinion, red flag or green flag, on long distance relationships?
Red flag.
Tell me why.
There was no hesitation. Red flag. So basically, I'm not saying you cannot have a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it suits some and it doesn't. But bearing in mind that you're long distance, sometimes everybody has needs. Sometimes lust may take over. You're not going to really be saying necessarily, oh, my partner's all the way over there, I better not do that. No, my partner's over there and they can't see. So it's basically, for me, it could be an open playing field and an open ground where whilst your partner is away, you're doing what you like. Not necessarily that you are being faithful and you are being committed. So for me personally, no for a long distance relationship.
Cool beans. And for myself, yes, absolute no. Red flag, red flag, red flag. And the reason behind that is because I like to have a communication. I like quality time. I like going on dates. I like traveling together. I want to see you. I want to hear you. I want to feel you. I want to do all sorts of things. So There's no way we can do that from a long distance. And yes, there's technical things that you can use, like the internet or social medias and stuff like that. But when you need that hug, when you need to be like, babes, I've had a long day, when he needs that reassurance, that hug, that massage, that bath run for him, that meal cooked for him, I'm going to be wondering, is that girl doing it out abroad? So insecurities, trust issues, I think all of them things will flag up.
100%.
Red flag.
She's going to be cooking his food. She's going to be turning up in sexy outfits.
And what's for dessert? Like,
when she looks all sexy like that.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not doing that, Bill. I'm selfish. I ain't sharing my bill.
Yeah, no. Red
Sorry.
flag. I agree.
Cool.
All right. Next question.
Let's go.
So the next question is not willing to go sexual health checkup. Oh, yeah, you saw my face.
Red flag, red flag,
100.
red flag. Like for me, if we are adults and we're in a committed sexual relationship or going to enter a sexual relationship, neither of us should have a problem going to the clinic together as responsible adults. I don't know where you've been. You don't know where I've been. So what's wrong with us getting checked up? And if we have an infection that we're not aware of, because not all infections are noticeable. They might not have a smell. You might not have an itch. You might not have anything. But actually you've caught an infection. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a sexual. It could be a urine infection, anything. And that's going to hurt you during intimacy or whatever. Let's just get checked so we know together if we did catch anything, one of us is cheating. So red flag. Bill, delete my number.
100%, and everything you have said is 100% right. There could be also an underlying health issue that not necessarily has been done through sexual contact, but it could be underlying, and until we go and get checked out, we don't know. Not only that, sometimes women are prone to thrush. It's just a natural thing that unfortunately your body, the chemical in your body changes. I'm not being rude. You don't want to be doing things and you've got certain things going on. That's not a good look. So respectfully, if you respect yourself and you respect the person that you are going to enter into a relationship with, I think, yeah, let's both go to the sexual health clinic. Let's get checked out so we both know and we both have peace of mind that we're clear. And at the end of the day, I don't know where you've been and I don't want to catch anything. And like you said, you don't know where I've been. So yeah, let's do the sexual health clinic.
Cool. Red flags.
Red flag.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Putting his phone on silence when he's around you. Red flag or not?
Red flag. I don't care. Why do you need to put your phone on silent? If your phone wasn't on silent already, then the fact that you've come into my presence, I'm a female, that would suggest to me, and you can be like, oh, I just want to spend quality time with you. I don't want to be disturbed. That's nice. Put the phone on. Put the phone on, because you actually don't necessarily need to answer it. But at the same time, yeah, you need to answer it because I want to hear what's going on. Because for me, that's a red flag. If your phone goes on silent, ladies, don't be taking the fact that he looks nice, he's all pretty, oh, he kisses you sweet, oh, he does so many nice things for me. Red flag. Don't let him sweet talk you. Oh, babes, I just want to spend time with you. Red flag. Red flag. Babes, he don't want sexy Diana, Sherelle or Susie to call while he's with you. Red flag. Don't do it.
100% in agreement. I don't believe in silent phones. Especially if I'm with someone who has children.
Yeah.
We don't know what can happen in the day and ages that we live in. Your phone should always be available for your children and loved ones, regardless if you're with me or not. You need to be looking at that number and be thinking, is that worth me answering it? It could be a private number. Something could have happened to somebody. You need to be answering it. If you've got family abroad, you don't know their emergency. So yeah, phone on silence. Let's silence this relationship. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Red flag.
So I'm going to turn the tables here. Do you put your phone on silent? Because we're going to be fair. At the end of the day, we are saying red flags, but we will also answer the question and then say if we will do it ourselves. So sis, do you put your phone on silent?
I don't, I've never put my phone on silence. For the fact that I'm a mother and a grandmother, I think it's really important that my phone is always on live. And if it's not on ringtone, it's on vibrate. And that's because sometimes you're in, like if you're in the cinema or you're at the theatre or at places that you can't have your phone loud. But if we're at home or at his home or we live together or at public places, absolutely that phone's on ringing. I'm looking at the number. I'm going to be saying to you, that's my son. I have to take this call. Or I can say, oh, that's rare. I can call them back. But yeah, I don't believe in silent phones.
No, I'm the same way. My phone doesn't necessarily have the ringer on because of work and other commitments that I do, but my vibrate is always on. So yeah, and I'm not frightened to answer my phone as I have nothing to hide.
This is it. Come on,
So
that's it.
Next red flag.
Red flags.
Okay, so this next one, oh my gosh, not answering the phone after certain hours.
Well, a red flag.
100%.
Red flag. You live with your wife. Yeah, we ain't gonna be doing life together and you still got a wife. Like, I'm sorry, or you live with your girlfriend, or you got
Yep.
something to hide, or you live in one of them places where you go, you know, when they come out of prison and they live in their probation
The shared-
houses,
the shared house
shared
and those-
accommodations,
yeah.
and you can't make me know. You're lying to me. You're a red flag. Answer your phone boo after 10 o'clock because I want to have my booty call. You can't give me that. You're not my boo. You got to go. It's a red flag.
That's it. And you're not necessarily going to leave the room and go downstairs because the one that you're in the house with might actually hear red flag.
Red flag.
Yeah.
All the way.
No, totally agree.
All right. Next one. Guys that say they've never been in a relationship.
Red flag. Everybody's been in a relationship. At the end of the day, come on, most people, they start experimenting from when they leave outside of secondary school. Whether it's long-term relationships, short-term relationships, you know, at that age, you're finding your feet. You then ideally go into uni. Some people go to college, before uni.
Yeah.
But you have relationships. So everybody's had a relationship. So when an older guy might come and say, oh, I've never had a relationship, you know, I'm not used to... No, it's a red flag. Of course you've had a relationship. Are you telling me that you've never ever spoken to a female? You've never ever liked somebody enough to want to open up your life to them and you share their life and they share yours? So red flag, ladies, don't listen. He has had a relationship. Clearly, maybe he wasn't right in the relationship and he didn't treat the lady right. There's something not right with him, why he then denies that he's had a relationship, but he has had previous relationships. So for me, red flag.
Yeah, 100% agree. I feel like guys that don't want to put titles on things, they scare me. To me, they've got trust issues. They just want to be a player. They're not sure of who they are as a man. They don't know how to lead. They don't know what their role is. They don't understand that actually you're supposed to be the head and not the tail.
Yeah.
You're moving sideways. You better just move out my way. You are a red flag. I ain't into you at all. Ladies, get rid of him. Next question.
Next question. So, the next question is, multiple baby mothers or baby fathers.
This one's a bit tricky. And the reason why I'm going to say that, because sometimes you can have 4 or 5 baby mothers, yeah, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out. And for me, as long as you're taking care of your children and you've got a good enough relationship with them, I kind of don't necessarily would deem it as a red flag. And the reason being, because I've been a teen mum and it didn't work out for myself, doesn't mean I'm a flying red flag. It means that I'm maturing. I think it becomes a red flag when you consistently do it. Like, you've got 8 kids, 8 baby mothers. Like, something's gone wrong. You haven't dealt with your childhood trauma. You haven't understood relationships. You haven't taken time out to go heal. You just jumped in from relation to relation. You haven't used no protection. It shows me that you're careless, that you're not thinking straight, that you don't understand the benefits or the non-benefits of having so many children. Yeah, you're a red flag in that sense. But if you've got 4 baby mothers and their kids are big, like 20s, you know, the youngest maybe about 15 or whatever, and then now you're ready to commit and settle down, and maybe you got issues at the first time, and then the last one you got a really good relationship, but actually you just find that you don't gel, but you was in a long-term relationship, then that's cool. But yeah, over that, you're a red flag.
Totally agree. I think for you to have so much baby mothers, why do you need that many baby mothers? You're just round here, looks like you're just throwing your thing around, procreating with as many women as you can. Like, you want to populate half the female population in London. No. So like yourself, I agree that once you reach a certain quota of baby mothers, I think start looking at things sensibly, start being a bit sensible. It doesn't mean to say just because you're now with this new partner, she's got to have your child. You already have how many children prior to that? So yeah, you lot can raise the children together. It doesn't necessarily mean she's taking the mother role, or she's taking or trying to replace the role of their mothers. It's just that she is now with that guy, so she is going to be taking a role within the kid's life. But I think, not too many. I think keep it to a certain number. And yes, things don't work out, but I'm saying it's not that you must keep pregnating every woman that you date.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And on that note, we are going to go back to the questions, but we're going to do something slightly different. So if you take a piece of paper and hand me one.
Okay.
So we're going to just do something a bit different in between it.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. And then we'll just grab ourselves a pen. So on our lap, just to make sure your pen works.
Yep.
Yeah, we actually do need to fold. Right. So we're going to have 30 seconds to draw, no cheating yet, our perfect man and label his perfect body things. So let me give you a quick example.
I'm not a good artist, so
It's absolutely fine. It's the drawing is not the importance. So like to say, if you draw his head,
Yep.
you might say, I want a guy that's headstrong. If you draw his eye, I want a guy with vision. Things like that. So every single body part that you put on there, you need to put a word on there. You only have 30 seconds to draw and label this perfect guy. And I can see the time, so there'll be no cheating for any of us. Right, we are going to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't know what's happened, man. This is I'm drawing, by the way.
Ten seconds have already gone.
Oh wow.
20 seconds have already gone.
Oh my gosh. Ooh.
5 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
And stop. Right. Let's put our pens down so there's no cheating. So, right. We are going to explain our drawings and then I'm going to explain the purpose of the exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, what have you got first?
So I've got the head, so somebody who's headstrong. For the eyes, I put somebody who can have vision. For the mouth, I put wisdom. For one hand, I put caring. On the other hand, I've put supportive. I've put a heart for heartfelt. And I was meant to write steadfast for the feet, but I wrote head by mistake.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to finish that other one. But
Cool. That's fine. Absolutely fine. So for my head, I put leader. For his face. For his eyes, I want him to be a seer. For his mouth, I want him to be able to speak life. For one of his arms, I want him to be able to hold me and reassure me. For the other arm, I actually put cares. For one of his leg, I put walking in his purpose. For his other leg, I put walk for in a mission. Like he has a mission, and I haven't completed the other parts. There's so much more that we want to put in there. And the whole point of this exercise is to say this: when we go into relationships as females, we have this ideal man that we have built in our mindset.
That is true.
And the thing about it, we don't often, as women, take time out to see if the guy has many of these qualities, and we end up in some form of relationships, and unfortunately they don't work out for us because we haven't taken time to say, actually, what does his leadership skills look like? Is he a seer? Can he see things for me? Is he going to be able to pray and hold me down? Is he going to speak life into me when I'm feeling stressed and depressed from work? When I'm feeling like no one else cares for me? When I'm feeling like I want to give up? Is he going to be able to speak that word of wisdom? Is he going to be saying to me, babes, here's the Bible, here's the gospel song, remember you are stronger? When he needs to hold me, when I'm thinking about my childhood trauma, something that I don't hide, is he going to say to me, I love your scars regardless. I don't care where you've been. I care where we're going. Are you going to be a carer? Are you going to understand that I come with children and grandchildren? Are you going to understand that I can't make every single time? Are you going to talk to me in a caring and calming manner? Because that's something that I crave for and need.
Yeah.
Are you going to walk in your purpose? It's so important to me. I don't want to go with a guy that says, let's go with the flow. I don't flow well. I like vision. I like understanding. I don't like grey areas. It's black and white. We together, we not.
What
There's
is
no, we're
let's
not
flow?
doing, we're
What
doing
does
that.
that
Yeah.
mean and what does
I'm
it
not.
entail?
Exactly. And the next thing, what's your mission? What's your mission with me? What's your end goal? My end goal is marriage. If yours is not marriage, why are we speaking? We don't need to talk about anything else. And I think sometimes in life, women find it hard to have these hard questions. I need to know, where do you stand financially? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Do you want to buy a house? Do you like traveling? Do you pick your nose? Do you fart out loud? Do you dress a certain way? What cologne do you like? How do you do your hair? How's your relationship with your mum? What about your dad? Your children? Can I meet the mother of your children? Parents' evening. I want to come to support it so that mum knows I'm a part of the team. Is that an option? I want to know, when you're going out with your friends, do your friends know about me? Do we live together? Why are we living separately? What's happening? So I think it's so important that you find a guy that has a similar, because he won't have the same vision, but he will have a similar vision to you. Instead of, even like we talk about myself, like having a child with someone that it didn't work out doesn't make them a bad person. It means that we wasn't on the same path. We was unequally yoked. I wanted A and you wanted A. I just want A. I don't want anything else. I just want me and you.
Yeah.
I don't want any more dramas. I don't want to be talking about all your exes. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I just want A.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, if we look in society now, there's so many children out there county lining, selling drugs, broken, mental health's on the rise. It's because we're picking the wrong partners, because we're not taking time out. We're seeing all these red flags and we're thinking we can change them green. No. They're red flags, they're red flags. Leave it alone.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's my opinion on when we draw things like this, or when we do things like this. What is the vision? What is the mission? How can we help each other grow? And I think that's really, really important for us to know. Draw your perfect man, but know that everything takes time. Rome weren't built in a day.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, that was a part of our little
That was
game.
good. That was. I was wondering. I definitely can't draw this perfect man. The penny's green.
Yeah.
Right. He's a stick man with a big head. So I was wondering.
Big vision.
You know, that's true.
Big vision.
So yeah, I was wondering. But no, that was actually quite interesting. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah. So ladies, a little exercise you can do with your girlfriends when you're out, you know, have your girl nights, or you can get us to come down and we can do a little talk with your girls to let them know things that they can look at. We will be telling you about our event on the 30th as well. Yeah. Next question.
Next question. Let's see. So, living with parents, put a certain age. If you're still living with your parents at the age of 30, 35,
Yeah.
what would you say to that?
Depends. So I think I've got two things with that. If you're living with your parents and you're about saving your money to buy your house, because we know that going onto the market in property is not easy.
Yeah.
You have to have a certain amount for deposit and stuff. So if that's what your vision is, or the next thing what I'd accept, if your parents were elderly or sick, or you were their carer or something like that, I wouldn't want to take that away from you.
Yeah.
I think that's important that you take care of your parents just like they're taking care of you.
Yeah.
So them two things will be a green flag for me. However, if you're just cotching at your mum's house, if you got no job and you're just airy-fairy doing nothing, brethren, you're not to talk to me. You have to talk to the council. You need to sort yourself out.
That is true.
That's my thing. Like, so it can be a red, it can be a green, depending on the reasons behind why you still live there.
Would you also look at the parent as to why the child is of a certain age, and the parent might not have encouraged, although at a certain age you should know ideally what to do? Would you also say it could be down to the parent as well, and the way they've taught the child and grown the child, why the child might be, don't take this wrong, lazy and complacent, and they don't want to go and have their own?
Yeah, I would. I do blame parents sometimes, and we just have to be honest. Sometimes parents, especially single parents, no disrespect to them, you know, I've been a single mum myself, but because they're not in a relationship with somebody compatible for themselves, they kind of have that relation with their child, and it actually becomes quite unhealthy, because you don't want to let go of the child. You're still treating them like they're 10 and actually they're 35. You're still paying all the bills, you're still spreading their bed, you're still doing their laundry. So that child becomes so reliant on you. You come so reliant on them. Even when they get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you find 50,000 things wrong with them so you can just have that relationship with that person. And I think if a parent or a father, if you're like that, if a mother or father is like that right now with your child, you really have to ask yourself why. What traumatic things have you gone through? What are you going through why you can't let go of that child? Because you disabling them to be less independent is actually going to mess them up in the long run, because no girl don't want a guy that can't go in the kitchen.
And it's toxic.
It is very toxic. It's very toxic. Yeah, I'm not into all of that. Like, I don't want oh, if my mum don't like you, we can't be together. I'm not with your mum. I will respect your mum and I respect your family, but she's not going to determine if we're together or not, because I'm a respectful lady. So there shouldn't be nothing why she shouldn't like me, but it shouldn't be I have to pass your mum's test. Like, we ain't doing that. We're not doing that.
Big grown people.
We're grown.
So,
we're grown.
yeah.
Grow up. Do you know what I mean? Tell your mum this is what you're doing. I'm your boo. Let's move.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Your mum had her boo. That's how she had you. So,
This
I'm just not into that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And one thing I will add on to that is, you've already said it though, but somebody might have been living by themselves, because I'm actually contemplating it myself. Buying my house and moving out and going to live with my mum and rent that out. So ideally, the house pays for itself. Yeah. So sometimes it's a business or it's a financial viable means that you're trying to achieve something. So sometimes it could be that's the reason why.
Definitely. And from it makes sense, then it makes sense. And that partner has to understand that. So yeah, green and red flag, 50-50.
I agree on that one.
Let's go. All right. Does your man have to be God-fearing? Is that a green flag? Yeah, okay, cool.
That's a green flag. If he's not, for me, it's a red flag, because sometimes they don't have no direction in their life. You just out here just doing nothing, no direction. At the end of the day, I do believe in having a God-fearing man. I like to get up and pray in the morning. I like to pray throughout the day. I like to pray in the evening. I want somebody who we can read the Bible together. We don't necessarily have to be reading at the same stage at the same time, but we can then conversate about our understanding of what we've read. We can Bible study together. There's nothing wrong in having a God-fearing man. Me personally, I would prefer a God-fearing man rather than a man who doesn't believe in God and who does not go to church at all. I want somebody who does believe. I want a believer, and I want somebody who is God-fearing. I want somebody, like you said, who is walking in their purpose and is not afraid to stand up. I am a God-fearing man. I love the Lord, you know, and obviously it encourages you, who is also God-fearing, to want the same for your life and for your children's life.
Yeah. 100%.
For you?
For me, yeah, 100%. I need a man that knows God. And I'm very particular. It might not be a popular thing that I'm going to say now, but I'm not into guys that talk about I'm spiritual. Spiritual what? Spiritual with demons, spiritual mental health, spiritual financially, spiritual witchcraft. Like, what does it mean that I'm a spiritual being? Like, I think people like to throw around words just to
without
say,
a meaning.
Yeah, like, I'm spiritual. You need to give me more than that.
Yep.
With a man that says, I fear the Lord, I know what you're giving me. But when you just say you're spiritual, it doesn't mean anything to me. You could be spiritually ill, because that's, to me, that's what it means.
That's true.
When you're spiritual, you are ill. You are trying to find something in the spiritual realm. What are you trying to find? My God-fearing man's already found God. He knows what it is. And even if he doesn't come to church every single Sunday, he knows that on Sunday we're playing our gospel music, and throughout the week he knows, you know what, 6 a.m. my babe, she wakes up and she prays. That is one of her things she does. On Sunday, if she's not in church, she's definitely going to be holding her little church service on the phone with her friends and her sisters and making sure that that's what it is. And I think a prayer day keeps the devil away, keeps you, all you spiritual illness people away. Like, I'm not playing that game with you.
Amen.
Be spiritual contaminated over there. Be spiritual blessed over here with me. Be good.
Amen.
Green flag here, spiritual people, to me, you're a red flag, because you don't know what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you say, when you say spiritual, what is it you're following? What is it you're being led by?
Yeah.
Is it voodoo? Is it black magic?
Is
it actually Christ? Is it actually you're spiritual and you're following the devil and you don't actually know you're following the devil, because all you know is, well, I'm spiritual. But give us more explanation as to what you mean. What does I'm spiritual mean to you? So like you said, I agree. At times people just throw the word out, but what's the meaning behind that word you've thrown out? So
I find a lot of people that say they're spiritually tormented.
Yes.
As well, because they've got all these analogies, all these reasons, all these things behind it, but nothing solid. Yep. All they do, I find, and like I said, it's no disrespect to anyone, it might not be a popular thing, but it's fine, it's my opinion, is pick at every faith. They've got nothing to hold solid. They just rather just downgrade. Oh, there was no J back in the day, so how can there be a Jesus? Islam this, this, that, whatever. I'm not interested in negativity. So if you are spiritual, you would understand that's a positive energy. If you understood how Christ works or how Islam works or whatever faith people decide to follow, you will understand the first thing is love. So you shouldn't be looking at the negatives of the faith. You should be like, they've got a faith, let me build upon them. And if your spiritual thing is actually real, you should be teaching, not trying to
that's my thing.
attack.
You wouldn't want anybody to attack the fact that you decided and you say you're spiritual, but you would be quick to then judge a Christian or quick to judge a Muslim or whatever faith people decide and choose to be.
Yeah, I'm not into all of that. So red flag.
Is it you or me?
I think it's you.
Is it me? And the next question is, criminal record. Interesting.
Boy. Do you know what? It depends what you've gone to prison for. Depends on what your criminal record is. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not going to dismiss a guy just because he's been to jail. I'm not. That's just personally for me.
Yep.
It's not necessarily a red flag because we all make mistakes.
Yes.
No one is perfect. It does, however, depend on when you went to jail. Because if you're still doing things in 2023, brethren, at my age, it can't work.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But if you did a crime when you was younger and you was silly and you was dumb and like you got caught for, I don't know, a little something that's not that bad, but anything pertaining children, indecent assault, murder, rape, any of them kind of big things, child molesting, like it's absolute zero no-go. I don't even want to hear your story. I'm not interested. If you've been convicted, far as I'm concerned, there must have been some form of truth behind it for the conviction to take place. And the fact that that label walks with you, and I've got girl children, I will never be secure in myself to have you around them, even if you was innocently just the fact that you've had it.
Yep.
For me, it will be something that plays at the back of my mind. I would be so insecure, even going to the sweet shop just because you've got that. But I feel like I said, if it's a minor crime, but you've done a sentence for the minor crime, it's not overly forgivable because you've done wrong. Wrong is wrong, and we need to understand the law. But it is about second chances, and I'm willing to give a criminal with a small charge a second chance.
I agree. And like yourself, I agree. Just because somebody has been to jail, I don't necessarily think you should write them off and sell them down the river. People do make mistakes. And at the end of the day, sometimes you have to make mistakes to know what you shouldn't do and where you need to be going and what direction you want your life to go in. Unlike my sis, if you have got any savoury character within yourself, no, please tell me so that I can run a mile. Yeah. No, I want to know because as you tell me, all right, babes, I understand. But I'm running in the other direction, just know. But I would prefer to know. But yeah, things like paedophilia, rape against women, actually hitting women, big red flags, and I can't justify that. Like sis, I also have children. So prevention is better than cure. If you've fiddled with children, I just cannot entertain you. That's just, no. It's just, that's not even a red flag. That's, you need to just, no, it's not happening. But apart from that, everybody deserves a second chance. People make mistakes. And actually, some people have actually gone to jail and they've been incarcerated and they didn't actually do it,
100%.
unfortunately. So sometimes
100%.
things like that happen. So I don't always think we should write off everybody just because you have now been tarnished with a brush that you didn't actually put on yourself. It was delivered to you, unfortunately.
Yeah. 100% agree. A guy with no job.
Did you see my face drop? Did you see? I was confused about the question. First of all, I couldn't even understand. I was I know. I'm on camera, so I was like, I wanted to look left, look right. Red flag. I don't understand how you are a big grown man and you have no job. Why have you got no job? What's wrong with you? Yeah, what's wrong with you? Why have you got no job? You clearly can work. You're clearly able-bodied. So you should be working. And if you're not working, that's fine if you're not working. But I should be hearing you're a businessman. I should be hearing that you're putting your business together. And do you know what? You could no longer work full-time while you're building your business from the ground up. So you're still putting your hands to something, but you're building and growing your business. You can't be lazy and just not be doing nothing. How do you pay your bills? Or do you just live under some woman? Do you just live under your mum? Unfortunately, when your mum's no longer here, that means you're going to find another woman to leech off of. And you're going to expect that woman to do exactly the same things as your mum. And that's basically look after you while you do nothing. Yeah, that I don't understand. And a man should work. And there's nothing wrong in a man and woman working together, but you can't be a man and not work. It's just not a done thing.
No, 100% agree with you. Yeah, I can't date a guy that's got no vision. I can't date a guy that's got no wages coming in. And, you know, like you said, if you're building your business, I 100% will support you.
Yep.
If you're at university and you're just waiting and whatever, then I 100%. But you can't be doing nothing because your job has to be your forefront of your source of income. Because
Yep.
to me, if you're not working, you're a roadman. And I ain't dating a roadman. Where are you getting your money from? If it's not your mum, it's from the road. From the road ends up in jail. I ain't writing no letters. I'm not that girl. I'm seriously, and it's no disrespect for the girls that want to do it and wait for 10 years. That's you. Me, hands still empty. I'm looking to get married. Like, I ain't got time.
Clearly, have you seen those pretty nails?
You know what I mean? I ain't got time to be waiting in jail hearing no pretty babes when I get out on road. Like, no, we need to be together, sitting in the living room, talk about, okay, this is the amount of guests that we're going to have. This is where we're doing. This is where we're getting married. This is how it's going to come about. Yeah, so you have to have a job because we need to be putting money together. So when we come together and collaborate the two families together, we have enough for all our children, grandchildren, and whoever else comes in that package to look after ourselves. So no job, red flag, out of here.
He can't even take you on a date.
Can you
unfortunately.
imagine?
You know what I'm saying? Can't take you to the sauna, the spa. We can't even go on holiday. The date, we can't even travel.
Passports.
It's really sad. Right. Next one. Okay. So, so this one is the man not paying for the first date. Whew, you heard my tone change.
For me personally, again, this is my personal opinion, it's a red flag.
100%.
I really agree with that. Like I'm that girl. I believe in 100. We give the same to the energy, but the first time you're taking me out, I shouldn't be taking out my credit card.
I'm like that.
I don't feel like that's right. For me personally, I'm very old school. I believe that you should be opening up the doors. And when we're going into the restaurant, we don't even have to go to the most expensive places. Like, we can go Nando's. It's absolutely fine with me. But I do need to you to show me that you're a leader, that you're able to pay your way throughout this relationship, just like I can hold my own. But if you've invited me out and then you expect me to go in my pocket and tap my card, you better tap your way out of my life. We're not doing it.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And for me, that, like, sis, that's a big red flag. I don't mind taking somebody out. I don't mind spending my money on you. I'm quite happy to arrange a day and, yeah, I'm taking you out. You're not even going to know where we're going. All I'm going to tell you is basically what type of attire you should wear, what time you need to meet me, where we're meeting. That's it. But on the first date, if you are not fronting the first date, it's over before it's even started.
Absolutely, I agree with that. And I know our questions have mainly been about red flags, which the topic is red flags. But question she says, what will be 5 green flags, would you say to somebody? Just putting you straight on the spot here.
That's fine, babes. Well, we'll start off with the first one. So the first green flag would definitely be the guy paying for the first date.
Cool.
So that's definitely a green flag. A green flag is somebody communicating with you. You do not have to bug me every day, but if you are not communicating with me, then as far as I'm concerned, you're not really interested in me. And potentially I am going to think, okay, you're only thinking and you only want one thing. Once you've achieved that task and goal, it's bye-bye. So yeah, for me, communication is a big thing.
Yeah.
Somebody actually also, when they're communicating with you, but paying attention.
Yeah.
It's not just, you're just doing it because I have to. You're paying attention to the female, or I'll even switch it around, or the man. It's not all about the men. Us females have to make and need to make the effort as well. As well as you want the man to find you and you want to be his queen, you need to find your king. So you need to establish what qualities the man has that makes him a king for you.
Yeah.
So that's a green flag. Going out, being taken out on dates, actually going out, getting to know each other. For me, a red flag is if a man has just started talking to you and instantly, I'm not being rude, you want to jump straight into the bedroom. For me, that's a big red flag. There is never no need to rush that. If you're going into something with somebody, it's common sense. It's going to go there anyway. But a lot of men, and sometimes even us females, you get it very wrong. The first thing you want to do is we want to jump into bed. Why? There's going to be time for that. I need to get to know what person I'm jumping into bed with. I need to get to know your character, your caliber. Yeah. Do you know what makes you tick? 1 minute you've jumped into bed with the man, the next minute you get thumped in your face. I'm not even being rude. It can happen. Yeah. So it's about getting to know each other. That's another thing as well. Getting to know somebody and getting to know them, spend time with them. Yeah. Cool. So those are all green flags.
Cool.
And what's a green flag for you?
So one of my biggest green flag is the way they speak.
Yes.
Once you're together. So I don't want to hear a lot of, I got this, I'm doing this. I want to hear, we do this. As a team, I believe, I feel this will work better for us. I need to be hearing them kind of tones. Like, this I thing ain't going to work. I've done this, I've done it. What are we doing? Okay, you've gone rock climbing. Okay, we are going now rock climbing. What day? I want to experience what you've experienced. I want you to experience what I've experienced as well. So that's really a green flag. Look out for the way how he communicates. If a guy doesn't ask you questions, or if he knows you've got children and he never says, how was your child's day? He only concentrates on you. To me, look out for them signs, because a green flag is that he cares about the whole family, the unit that he now wants to lead. He wants to be like, okay, your son did that, your daughter done that. Okay, you're doing this. Someone that asks you, have you eaten today? Them small little words of affirmation, darling, you look beautiful today. That encouragement, do you know what I mean? To make you feel more secure. I think a green flag is if you have a faith, that the man encourages you to continue 100%. To grow in your faith. I think a green flag as well is a man that's looking to commit. A man that's saying to you, babes, I see this long term. I see marriage with you. If he's not giving you that talk, to me, it's a red flag. Another thing that I think is a green flag is see where he takes you, the environment around his friends. How does he introduce you to family members? How does he introduce you to his friends? How does he introduce you to children's mothers or whatever? That's really key. How does he dress around you? How does he address you around people as well? Like, when you're with him, does he make you feel like you're the princess that you are? Does he make you feel like the queen that you are? These are all green flags that I think you need to look at. Ask him about his 5-year vision. Does it match yours? If it doesn't, ladies, please do not force it. Your king is out there. But if you keep on entertaining Mr. Wrong, you are never going to find Mr. Right. And sometimes it can be, let's be real, we're at an age where we think, oh my God, but I'm this age. Why haven't I met someone yet? I keep on meeting all these red flag guys. Then unfortunately, ladies, I've got to be real. You've got to check yourself. Why are you attracting red flag men? What is it that you're not doing for yourself? What time out do you need for yourself to deal with your trauma, to deal with your self-love, self-awareness, and self-growth before you enter? You need to heal from whatever it is that's attracting these kind of men. And then the right man, to me, I believe, will come into your path unexpectedly. Suddenly, you're on the move with the right person at the right time, on purpose, for a purpose, in a purposeful season. I always got to bring my purpose talk into it. So hot question for you, sis. Ooh. So what's your current situation?
Current situation is single.
Okay.
But that's fine. Single is fine.
Yeah,
so single, cool. I'm studying. So yeah, as and when it comes, then I'll be more than happy and willing to embrace it. But until that time, it is what it is. And what about yourself?
So my current situation at the moment, I would say dating. Yeah, it's been an interesting road, I should say, in all, because for me, I feel like I trust in God's time. But I'm that girl that be like, when is it my time? Like, no, God, like, I've been praying every single day. Like, every month I fast for 21 days. Like, where's my husband? Like, And it's just like boo-hoo to myself. Like I go to bed at night time, hugging up my pillow, like, baby, what's going on, good? Like, well, I'm not good enough. Like, what's going on? And I think I lived that life for quite some time. And I used to kind of like just date for dating's sake, like just to say I've gone on a date or go with people. And deep down in your heart, you know when they're not right for you.
Yeah.
You've got that feeling, that gut feeling, like you're like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I'm doing this, but there's something missing. And yeah, ladies, do not, when you get that little itch or that little twitch or that little, I hear like, don't ignore it. Seriously, he's got his queen out there and you're holding him up. It's like being in a traffic light, right? This is how I look at relationships. Like, to get to your destination, to your husband, if you're on the road and you drive a car, you know, like say you're going from Brixton to Croydon. During that journey, you are going to stop at many traffic lights, and it's going to stop at red where you have to pause for a bit. You're going to have to wait your turn. You're going to have to watch other cars go their other ways, and then you can go again. And then you might get to a place where you get a zebra crossing and you've got to allow people to cross your path. Don't necessarily, you've got to stop for them, but don't mean you need to engage with them. You're just stopping for them to cross your path. Then you go again. You might end up at a bus stop and you're behind the bus, and this bus has got lots of people, and a lot of people might look like they're in a relationship, but just because they look like it, you don't know necessarily what's going on in that bus. You're not on that bus. You're not in that relationship. If you keep on going and keep on being focused, there'll be a point where you reach the destination of where you're supposed to be for your purpose. And regardless of every obstacle, regardless of every red traffic light, regardless what buses was in your way, regardless of what zebra crossings, regardless, you will find that person or they will find you, and it will just intertwine. It's just, for me, it's hard to explain, because I was at a stage where I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'm crying. Where's my baby? Where's my boo? But then it got to a point where I thought, you know what, child, I can't be bothered. I'm going to just concentrate back on my business, concentrate on my children, concentrate on my grandchildren, and just concentrate on opening up more businesses. And like, I'm very business mindset anyway. And I've got so much things to do in my purpose. Like, my assignment on earth is so massive. Like, sometimes it scares me. And I'm just like, yeah, you can't concentrate on man. And I think, boom, that's when he comes. So I'm encouraging ladies that are in their 40s like myself, don't feel like the right one ain't out there for you. It might not be your time. And I hate hearing that. When I used to really hate it, when I was like not dating, I was like, can you just stop saying that because you're at your home with your man? Like, just don't say that to me. Like, it's actually irritating. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, oh, soon happens. Like, no, it's not happening. Like, this has been months. It's been years. Like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? But it does actually, eventually, it does happen for everyone. I do believe that in the right timing. So, yeah, I'm currently quite happy in my position at the moment. We'll just see what God has got. You know, I think you still remain focused in a relationship. You still work on yourself. You still do things that you do when you used to as a single person, because you still have an identity of yourself. They have their own identity, and then you identify with each other. But don't lose. I think that's the thing what sometimes women do, and that you become the walking red flag. You lose your own identity and you just rely on that person. Now your whole life is around that person.
That's true.
And you forget the purpose of being single. There was people that was there for you before this person. There's a vision that you had with this person. There's a mission that you still should be on. That road hasn't ended. You haven't got to that destination with that person. No. Don't cut your friends off. That's another thing, ladies. Do not cut your friends off for a guy. Like, just don't do it. There's time and places for each one in each relationship. Like, there's no need to say, oh, now I'm with Rare, I'm not going to talk to Rare. Or when your friend rolls, you're kissing your teeth or roll your eyes. And don't slag off your friends to your man either. That's a no. That's a red flag as well,
Big
guys.
red flag.
Yeah, don't do that. Always talk positive about your friends. And why I want to encourage you to say that, the man will look at you sideways, because he will think, okay, what character are you? Why have you got these kind of friends? Do you understand?
That's right.
It's more a reflection on you than your friends. And people don't understand that. Like, when you're sitting there gossiping and saying, oh, she's this, she's that, oh my God, I can't believe her, blah, blah, blah. The guy needs to think about, you just hang out with her. You was just with her the other day. You took pictures with her. Like, so how's she all these bad things now? Like, come on, get a grip, girl. Like, we're not doing that. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. Again, I just want to emphasize that this is our opinion on red flags. Yes. This is our opinion on green flags. It's up to you what you take from it. We're not saying take everything. We're saying this is how we see it. This is how we viewed it. This is what's helped us through it. So I'm just going to allow LaToya to give a bit of shout outs, how you can find her on any socials, what you're doing, what's
on
upcoming.
On the socials, on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, the normal, Twitter. That's where you can find me.
Cool beans. And yeah, myself, as you know, Purpose Talks, just type it in. You should find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I think that's the only socials I'm on. Actually, I do need to get on some more. Also, we want to say that we're coming back and doing some live events. Our first one's on the 30th of July in Balham. If you can make it, come down. We're still going to be touching upon this topic. I think it's quite a big topic, and interacting with people lively should be a live one. And we've got some twists and turns. And as you see, I love games. I love to have purposeful things around the games. Yeah, just keep going. I feel, Latoya, if you can give them a word of encouragement before we finish, what would you give them?
Love and positivity. I do believe love will get you through, and not necessarily love of a man or love of a woman, just love people, generally love people, and try to be kind to people, because trust me, the kindness will come back to you. And if it doesn't come back to you and you have children, it will come back to your children. And don't do it because you want to get something back. Do it because you just want to be nice. It's just nice to be nice.
Definitely. And I think my last word I'm going to say, I'm going to talk about my 3 Ps: pain, process, and purpose. And I think in a relationship, sometimes we go through some painful times. We've all been through it. But then we have to process why we went through it and how we went through it, and then understanding the purpose at the end of it is what actually makes you wake up and smile and say, do you know what, I got through that. There was no obstacle that I couldn't get through. I did it. I'm doing it. I'm going through it. But hey ho, there's a purpose behind it all. It's so amazing coming to do podcasts, being able to talk to people, having different guests on the show, looking at people's different views, how they see it.